All right, everybody, it's your Uncle Ed coming back at you. Today, we're going to get deep in the weeds because guess what? Some of us have a lot of weeds in our brain, right? We got to clean that up. It's not just in spring that we do that. And on that note, hey, look, this guy's a brother from another mother, right? This is my guy right here. I've known this guy for how long has it been? Over 20 years for sure.
Yeah.
He was at my
26.
wedding. This guy is my guy. But not only that, he's wicked smart, but he really, really understands how we think and how we operate. So today we're going to be tackling something that I know all of you can relate. And that is, why do we say we want to do something and then we don't, right? So, Ian, thank you for being on this. Please
Absolutely.
enlighten us because why is it we say, well, I want to do this. I want to go to the gym. I want to be fit, but we don't. I want to be financially free, but we don't. We say all these things. We constantly have what I call diarrhea of the mouth and ideas and dreams and hopes, but we don't put any activity to it, man. So tell us.
Yes, the old term lip service. Boy, do we give a lot of lip service
Yeah,
to
yeah, you're right.
self-improvement of
Surprised
all
they're not
kinds.
purple from so much
Yes.
service.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting because there are a bunch of reasons why. But if we think about an enormous amount of it is unconscious, which is why we don't get it.
Okay.
It doesn't resonate because it's not top of mind. I hate to use a cliche, but you know that old visual of the iceberg, and there's only a little bit of it that's above the water, and that's our consciousness. And then
Yeah.
below the water, we got
Which is the
subconscious,
most.
unconscious. Exactly, and that's pushing us around.
Yeah.
And so,
Great analogy.
one of the things that we don't think about is that status quo can be a comfort zone, even if
Mm.
we're miserable. And
So
that's a
it's
tricky thing.
almost like we get used to our hostage taker.
Yeah, what is it? Stockholm syndrome.
Is that what they call it? The Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, it's exactly.
Okay.
There's a great joke that's going to go over a lot of people's heads, but it's great. It's a book on Stockholm syndrome. It's like, well, I read this book on Stockholm syndrome, and I didn't like it at first, but by the time I got to the end of the book, I really liked it. So
That's so
yeah.
good. Let us know, by the way, if you want us to slow down this video on that note. That is so good.
So yeah, the so what happens is, and I went into this a while back on another webinar I did about why to not jump into a job because everybody says you're good at it.
Mm.
Because very often we become good at something because it's something we had to overcome when we were young, and we learned how to survive it, and we got really good at surviving that terrible thing. And now we're really good at it. And everybody says, oh, you should do that because you're really good at it. But all it's doing is reinforcing that trauma from childhood. So it's not necessarily the best thing to do. We really
Yeah.
need to do why, a heck of a lot more. But this unconscious status quo thing is really interesting because um, we get so used to this is the way I've always done it, you know, and you've heard it a million times with regard to business stuff because oh my God, how many companies I have done process reengineering for where you walk in and well, we've always done it this way,
Or it's company policy.
right? And it's like, well, you know, you're putting your left shoe up on the chair and trying to tie your right shoelaces. You may have always done it that way, but what if you put the foot up that you're tying? You know, just an idea.
Yeah.
Um, and so it comes across as some kind of weird thing. This new thing, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And here's where it gets really spooky. We have a story that this is who I am. I call it the identity narrative. Like, this is who I am. If I do anything to change that, I'm in a way killing that person. we're not thinking about this consciously, but unconsciously, there's this protection, there's this self protection. Oh no, don't kill me. This is who I am.
Hmm.
So I've always been this guy. I've always done it this way. I've always thought this way. I've always felt this way.
Yeah.
Attachment, attachment,
Yeah.
attachment.
Yeah.
So to be able to say, wait a second, um, I won't die if I do something that will be better for me. So if I have always been overweight, I'm used to being overweight. It's who I am. I really like potato chips, whatever I like eating the way I eat. I eat because it tastes so good, blah blah blah. But I know better. I know I should, da la la la. Um, and boom, we get that should in there. We're resisting it immediately. We're
Immediately.
like, don't give me rules. You're hemming me in. You're boxing me in. I don't want to be that way. And we resist and we resist and we resist. So we keep doing what we were doing. So we have to get this to a place where we say, okay, I hate the way this works, Ed, but you've heard it many times. The pain point. Why do we have to reach a pain point that's high enough
To
of a
change.
threshold to do that change? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be cool if we could go, I don't need to go that far. I'm recognizing before I get off the cliff that I'm going off a cliff. What if I stop short and I turn left or I turn right? And so that's the thing about self-awareness, to be able to go, wow, is this what I'm doing? We have to be able to question, is this what I'm doing? So one of the things that I've noticed with this is you've got to sort of do it bit by bit by bit and really pound in that concept of don't beat yourself up about this because it's unconscious. There's no way you could have, gotten it like that. Don't worry about it. You're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you. And this falls into my very process of how I work. There's nothing wrong with you. That's why I call myself a personal trainer for the mind versus a coach, since coach hardly means anything anymore.
Right. That's
Um,
true.
so the thing about it is you use what you know. You use the thoughts and the feelings and the experience and the knowledge that's there. Um, and that means there's other stuff within you that you've never used. It's there, but you've never used it. You didn't need to use it because
Right.
my favorite example of this, uh, the movement of your arm in a curling motion. Mostly you're using your bicep in the front and tricep in the back. We think that's all there is to it. We use those. There's this other little tiny muscle in between the two called a brachialis,
The brachialis. That's right.
right? We rarely ever think about using it. So it lies fallow. It gets weaker, it atrophies, whatever, while the bicep and the tricep are doing all the work. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that the brachialis hasn't been worked.
Right. Hasn't been developed. Yeah.
Bingo. So what we do is we look at, okay, let's look at these wonderful aspects that you didn't even know you had. There are resources in your treasure chest you didn't even know you had because you were using these other things and they were so loud and big and they worked. So you didn't dig down underneath them to find, oh, I've got that. Oh, I've got that too. So dig down underneath and we find all these other resources that you have but haven't strengthened. You haven't
Yeah.
exercised them.
Yeah. 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 For sure. How is that shown up in like the real world? Because we're talking about having an aha moment. Oh, wow, I have a lot more resources than I thought. I didn't even know I had that one. Give me an example of a time where that's happened with one of your clients, for example, where you helped them get to that aha moment, and what were the circumstances and when they do about it?
Okay, let's take a person who likes to call themselves ADHD, which is basically about 99% of the population right now. Um, it's like, come
Seems
on,
that way.
everybody's dealing with this, right? Um, but what they do is they don't know what to do first or second, third. They can't prioritize. They can't make up their mind about the da da da. And they basically just are resisting doing any of it. What they might not know is that deep down inside, the part of them that worries about things and gets anxious is also really good at problem solving if
Mm.
it gets trained to do that.
Ah,
Because all of that worry and anxiety is doing like negative scenarios and worst case scenarios and all that kind of thing. But beyond the worst case scenario is how do I make that not happen? So they do have the capacity to strengthen that problem solving. They also have a part of themselves that loves to just do it. Just let's get this thing done. Let's get this thing done. So they can learn to go, okay, I'm starting to feel anxiety. That tells me there's a problem to be solved, rather than just feeling anxious. And then all of the things that we do when we feel anxious, go have a drink, go eat, go watch TV, you know, scroll, whatever it's going to be to soothe the anxiety. But the problem is still there.
yeah, yeah,
So,
that's true.
so we've got to feel, oh, I'm feeling this anxiety rather than immediately self-soothe. I'm going to
Mhm.
throw it to my problem solver. And once I problem solve what I could do about this, I'm going to lateral that to my go get it done side of me that I didn't realize I had. And now I'm basically almost like a football team, you know, where it's like, okay, throw it to this guy who then laterals it to this guy who then takes it downfield. Boom, boom, boom. And you actually get stuff done that way rather than backing off or resisting it or, you know, distracting yourself some way so that it feels
Makes
better in
total
the moment.
sense.
And
Yeah.
and there are
Okay.
so many dominoes involved in this. A tangential, but not tangential because it matters. Your brain runs on glucose, but it runs on a steady, moderate level of glucose. So what happens is when we spike, it drops, spike, it drops, spike, it drops. Our brain is not working at optimal. It can't. It's like going all over the place, then it's tired. Then it's all over the place, then it's tired.
Yeah, it's almost like manic depression.
Exactly. And so instead of flip-flopping like that, your diet will actually impact your ability to have willpower. It'll actually impact your ability to have self-discipline, and it'll impact your ability to think straight.
Yeah, no, it makes total sense. So, what are, in closing, what are a couple of tips that you can give people besides, of course, them contacting you, which we're going to get to that? But what are a couple tips that people can take as takeaways right now that they can do like right now as soon as they watch this to
Okay,
start this in motion?
I have a rapid fire process that basically does what cognitive behavioral therapy does, but it does it, boom, you can do it yourself. You can do it right now.
Got it.
And I use the acronym RARE, R-A-R-E, and it stands for recognize, arrest, replace, evolve.
Mhm.
So, number one, that recognition of anxiety, you recognize I'm freaking out. You recognize I'm about to say something mean. I recognize I'm about to get angry. Arrest it. Stop. Replace that with something that actually serves you and others. There's a whole bunch of wonderful neurotransmitters that are going to get generated with that
Of course.
another time. But then when we replace it with the new thing, and we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, what we do is we starve the neural pathways of the old habit. So it goes away because now we're making a new habit. You can't just stop something cold turkey
Yeah,
because nature
totally.
abhors a void and you're drop back into it.
Totally.
So you've got to have a replacement that's good.
Yeah. Recidivism, for example, in the prison system.
Exactly.
You let
Exactly.
them
If
out
you
and
have,
they come back again. Right.
and and look at the statistics when you add meditation and yoga, recidivism drops
Plummets. Yeah. Yeah.
like a rock.
Yeah.
And that's, that's using this process basically. So by repeating the new thing, that becomes your habit. Now your habit is when I get angry, maybe what I do is I go into problem solving mode instead of punching a wall.
Right.
It's or instead of yelling, pounding on my steering wheel because there's traffic, I go, okay, what can I do? I'm not going to do anything about this traffic. I've got no control.
Yeah. Traffic is a
What?
great example because people have gotten nuts. This is a
Yeah,
great time to use the rare methodology for sure.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's something else I could do with all this
Totally.
energy that's actually going to serve me and others rather than hurting. And when we get pissed off at other people and whatnot, there's an old expression. It's like holding a hot coal, hoping it's going to burn somebody else. Um, and that's basically what's happening biochemically. Because when we get upset and angry and pissed off and all that, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, it's all putting us into fight or flight, which disables our ability to problem solve.
Correct.
So we're making things worse for ourselves,
Yeah.
which is why you need to go, when you're looking for your keys. Where was the last time? Rather than, oh my God, where are my keys? Because you'll never find them when you
You'll
do
never
that.
find them. That's right.
Yeah,
Proven.
absolutely.
Excellent. Well,
Absolutely. So
hey, on that note, look, guys, little secret. Ian was my first coach. And I tell you, he changed the game for me personally. And if you want to talk about that, hit me up. But in the meantime, do a consultation with him. I'm telling you, Uncle Ed's telling you here, it's going to change your life. It will. Undoubtedly, 0% failure here. How do they contact you, Ian?
probably there's a lot of ways, but the easiest of all is just my name.com, ianblei.com. And right at the top, there's a little link that says, let's have a conversation.
Oh, excellent. So
Bam. You know,
ianblei.com, hit the button, have a conversation,
yeah,
and
bing.
take it from there. And then, by the way, do me a favor, hit me back and tell me how it went because I know it's going to change things for you. Well, thank you so much, Ian. As always, man, always enlightened. I always walk away with this feeling A, smarter, and B, empowered. So
You
I
are.
personally thank you because you've empowered me over 26 years. So I am personally appreciative. All right, guys, hit him up. Uncle Ed, thank you, Ian. We're out.
Absolutely.
Have a great day. Take care.
Take care, everybody. See you soon.